Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do a beautiful landscape with some golden colors, a soft, beautiful sky with some sun rays coming through. Should be very interesting. If you're looking forward to seeing this and you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. We'll start off here with our 2-inch brush, a little bit of our yellow ochre, white. I'm just going to start right here in the important part, right here in the sky, right in the sunset area, or sunrise, doesn't really matter, it's whatever you want it to be. And we're going to work outward using beautiful golden colors. Now, I am thinking constantly here about the way that the sun rays are going to come through this painting. That's so important. You got to think about it now if you want it to look right later. There you go. Transitioning here to a little more golden yellow ochre. That looks good. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, let me show you the paintings that you guys did in my last one. Actually, be the last 2 weeks because somebody forgot. Wonder who that was. It's really fun to see all of your versions. You guys are doing such a great job. Too much fun. Too much fun. There. So, thanks for sending them all in. And remember, you can use the hashtag on the screen to share your version. And we'll try to get it into the next video. All right, that looks good. A little more, well, a little more. How about if we start adding a little red? So now we're going to start making clouds. Just kind of the next step in the process here. Take a little of our pretty much similar color, a little more red maybe. Okay. These will be kind of around this side, probably, with being this color. I actually had some sketched in. By the way, did you see my nice little sketch? I actually know where I'm going today. There, actually. What I've got here, let me show you. Don't laugh. There's my drawing. That's what I'm working from. I sat down and figured out. See, this is backstory. This is a painting, a custom painting for a client. So this is a subject that they put their input into. So that is why I've got the drawing. There we go. Not that I showed the drawing to anybody. There. But it just helps me know where I'm going, plans it out. But this has got kind of a special meaning for them. So that's really, really nice. All right, I think we can work with that. Now this is going to require a lot of blending. And that's going to bring it to the next level. But it's just pretty. See that? Start with some pretty cloud action. I think we can work with that. Maybe a little more, tell you what, a little more red even a little more red. See what that does. We'll be playing around with the sky quite a lot because the sky, to tell you the truth, is more of the painting than the rest of the painting, if you know what I mean. There we go. Sun probably right in that area. Good. Now I'm just adding some purple. Well, really, it's a soft purple. The way you can get that is just by having a little of that yellow in there, which just calms it down a little. Very good thing when you're dealing with purple and you don't want it to be too intense. This is just enough. We'll just go right over that sketch. Oh, that's pretty. I like those brush strokes showing. I think we can work with this. This is already developing into something that's looking halfway decent. What a good start. All right, now. Okay, there we go. Maybe a little more just along these mountains. I don't know if those are really going to be the little rolling hills. I don't know if that's exactly where they're going to be, but I just sketched them in anyways. So at least I have an idea in my mind where we are going. There, it helps. Good. Misty, kind of soft, which is definitely what we want. That looks good. Now, we have a lot of opportunity to build our clouds on top of this, which is what we're going to do next. Okay, as you can see here, quick change of plan. I want my sun up here. I don't want it down here. I want it up and kind of shining down through the clouds. It'll be better that way. All right, let me grab my palette. I also did just a little wiping of the canvas with a shop towel. That helps to remove some of the loose oil paint so I can continue to paint. All right, there. Got a little blue there, which is nice. A little concerned about using that brush because it's got so much yellow in it. I'm going to grab my filbert brush, and I'd love to start seeing a few blue clouds. Not blue, but blue purple, if that makes sense. Up here. Just enough. Yeah, that's it right there. Even more blue is okay. I don't want to make green, but I don't think we will. There's not that much yellow up in this area. There we go. We can work with that. There. See that? Now we'll start to kind of refine this. Start to tighten our strokes up just a little and make something nice come out of this right here. I don't want too much crazy color happening here in this area. I want this to be muted kind of right here. That looks good. That's very pretty. I think we can work with that. So we'll just keep playing around, just tweaking the sky here and there. And I'll jump back here when there's something a little more interesting, probably when we get over to that area. Now I'm going to paint in clouds up here where the sun is going to go. Sun is somewhere in that area. Of course, we'll brighten that up and then bring our sun rays through the painting. That'll look nice. A little yellow. Oh, that's pretty. That yellow makes a difference, doesn't it? Kind of sparkles it up just a bit. I am trying to leave a little brushstroke texture. I mean, yeah, we're going to blend it. Yeah, it's going to get smoothed out, but a little texture in there is nice. That sort of stuff, kind of makes things more interesting, you know? It's an oil painting after all. Gotta have a little texture. There. Hey, we can work with that. Actually, don't tell you what I don't care for. I don't care for this spot right here. I'm gonna erase it just like that. See that? So work that back up. Okay. And then I can take some more of my yellow and white, which I've got right here, and I can just stick it right here, and I'll blend it, and it'll look like the sun. There. See, I didn't want my sun to be too hidden by those clouds, it was too hidden a moment ago. Ooh, that's a lot of thick paint. That's going to be so bright, so cheery and vibrant and beautiful as it kind of casts the light down through the painting. That is going to be good stuff. Right there. Back. Oh, there. See that? I know it looks like a big mess. It's almost too much paint here. Watch this. Just take a little of that off. There. Of course, if you don't have a palette knife like this, you know where to get one. Link in the description. There. That looks good. Blender brush. There it is. Couldn't find it. It's supposed to go there. Couldn't find it. All right, here we go. Little light strokes. Just to smooth it, bring it all together. You gotta kind of hold your breath when you do stuff like that. Little brush hairs you can pick out later, doesn't really matter. Most of the time I leave them except for right here in the sun area, or like right in the middle of your main feature. You don't want to leave them. Otherwise, just leave them. All the old masters did. There. Oh, that's pretty. A little more blending. That's good. Now I'm going to add a yellow glow to the outside of this cloud. Actually, probably going to do it to the inside as well. You know, add some extra round details there. But oh, this is pretty. There. See that? So all it takes is just a touch here and there. Nice. Now, of course, we'll blend that. We're not going to leave it just the way it is. It would look a little silly. But that really starts to make this cloud come to life. This is a silver lining. I know it's gold color, but it's what it's called, silver lining. Oh boy, I should just stop. All right, that looks decent. Up here, maybe just a little more. Yes, you see that? Maybe it comes back up. Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at the movement. If you can't get excited about this, let me tell you, you're missing out. There. Now I've got my softer detail round brush, so I can come in here and just, if I'm careful, lay on a little more brightness here, just where we know that sun is going to be peeking through. Excellent. That is something we can work with. There we go. Okay, that's it. See, that just kind of starting to frame that painting in a little more highlight and kind of create a cloud where there is none. I see some dark there that's, you know, not quite yellow, and I think that would make a really pretty, more subtle cloud. What do you think? There. Yeah, that works. So you can see how you just go around picking out these different clouds and honestly creating more and more depth as you do it. More and more depth. That looks good. Now we got to figure out how we're going to do sun rays without ruining all this. I may wait for the painting to dry because this is oils and this is fairly thick. That might be the safest way to go, especially because this is a commission painting. If this was my own painting, I don't think I would worry about it, but because it is, I want to do it right, make sure we don't have any issues. So probably let that dry for a few days. So you may or may not get to actually see the sun rays, but either way, they'll be in there. So now I'm going to mix up some brown and a little yellow ochre there, or white. Doesn't really need to be anything too, anything too different from our sky. It really needs to be similar, I guess. Anyway, we're going to take, speaking of the sky, we're going to take a break from the sky and paint in, we're going to paint in some of these little background rolling hills. This is good. It kind of helps to establish the overall feeling of the painting. Very important, of course. And it just helps to, it's hard to look at the sky and know if it's perfectly finished until you get some color here for it to show against. There, kind of something like that. Nothing too crazy, but enough that it is, enough movement that it's interesting, Over there, maybe a little more cool. See, over on this side of the painting is a little more cool, so let's do that. Let's do that. There. Beautiful. We can work with this. It's something that is going to really help, and I think, it's going to be able to help me tell if that sky is done. I think I want to go back and play with it a little more. Maybe. We just don't know yet. So we'll get this in. Now, I'm going to grab 1-inch brush and I'm just basically going to paint in rather quickly my background grass colors and tones. Just get them underpainted. Now, I think we're going to do some beautiful reflections of these colors in this small lake. It's not a big lake, it's just a small lake, but I think it would look really, really, really nice to have those reflections in there. There, kind of get some color. It's nothing more than just throwing on layers of color at this point, and crossing your fingers and hoping something comes out, right? That's what we do after all. Gotta have fun. Got to have fun, or you'll just go crazy. Now I've got the 3/4 brush. I'm gonna grab just some yellow, white, just anything to kind of match loosely the colors that we got going on up there. And I want to get the reflection going in this pond. This is important. This is going to really bring a lot of impact to this area. I just think it's pretty. I think it works. I think it fits. Yeah, so basically just if you see a color up there, throw it down here. And there you go. Pretty straightforward. Of course, you can blend this as much as you need to, but I kind of like leaving a little variation in there. What do you think? Water, it's something it's more interesting when there's more colors being reflected. You can have a little blue in this, but I wouldn't put much. I would not put much because there's just not much up in the sky. And you got to have your colors matching, as you know. There, I don't know why I'm telling you stuff you already know. Maybe there's some new people here. You never know. That's pretty. Like a seascape, you just bring that light in and it all just starts to glow, doesn't it? Just starts to glow. It's pretty. And a little more blending here. This is something that I would definitely recommend doing. Refine this shape with the grass. Just get your water in the way you like it, and then refine your shape with the grass. You don't have to do it perfectly right now. Now, as you can see, I took just a minute and kind of reset the palette, scraped it off, put out some more paint. I was just, and you were probably noticing this too, but I was just noticing that things were on the palette at least starting to get a little muddy. It was just like one big brown color. So I stopped and reset. It's very rare that I do that, but it does happen from time to time. It's just one of those times. Because the last thing in the world we need is to be battling mud on the palette. We don't need it, and we're not going to do it. How's that? We're going to stop it before it happens. So don't be afraid to reset your palette, scrape away all the muddy paint, and that way you just have a little more control over what's happening. There, I'm just using small comma strokes. You see, at this point, I'm going from large, bold colors to, don't you like my artistic hand sweep there? To soft, smaller areas, more detailed areas. They're not so bold, you know? Such as this tree. This is not a big tree. The idea of this painting is I want to see the space in the painting. Does it make sense? You know, I want there to be air and atmosphere. I'm not going to close it in like I usually do with big trees and whatnot. So there you go. Going to be small trees. I'm just using my comma strokes here, as you know. There, it's starting to look pretty already. Oop, that's a little bright. What am I doing? Get rid of that. A little green will counteract that red. Now I'm going to give these trees an accent highlight. And again, there's not really too many trees today, so I'm spending more time on these trees than I normally would. Normally you see me flying through the trees. But this time I'm really taking my time, refining the edges, getting each leaf, okay, I'm not getting each leaf just perfect, but you know what I mean. I'm making it look the best that I can. And part of that is sparkling the edge to give it that accent, like it's glowing from behind, that kind of a highlight. It's beautiful. Makes me very excited to see it happen. See that? Look at that. It makes a difference. Don't skip these steps when you paint. It makes all the difference. It really does. There. I like that. I really do. I think that works. There we are. And then that kind of repeat the process there on this one. This one is in front of that one, so this will help to chisel it out from the other one. Good. Ooh, it's a bright color. Very, very bright color. I'm putting on a little texture, a little thickness here, so that it shows up bright. There, that looks good. I think we can work with that. What do you think? Nice. And just a touch more here. See this? The little things count when you're doing a painting that's more open. It's easy to do a forest full of trees. Just do one or two. And it's actually more difficult because there's nowhere to hide. There's literally nowhere to hide. You have to do it right. It's fun though. What a challenge. There. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, tell you what. Let's grab us some kind of yellow ochre color, just some of everything we've been using here. Going back to that mud color again, but that's okay. I want to get a little tree. Maybe it just breaks that horizon. Good. Right in the distance. I think we need it. It will help to show depth in the painting. Help go back. We want to go back into the painting. I want to feel like we can walk back there. That's the goal. And so this will help. Nice. We'll just drop that in just like that. You've seen this a million times, but I think what's a little different, we'll just take a little bit of that same yellow accent highlight, and I just want to touch and kind of give this like a glow. See that? That's almost too yellow for the background. Let me add a little white. There we go. I changed it just enough. Okay, that's pretty. I think this works. I really do. And listen, it's okay to be happy. I say this every week now. I used to just say it every once in a while. It seems like I say it every time I open my mouth. It's okay to be happy with your paintings. Because I find that so much of the time, we're too hard on ourselves. It's okay to be happy with your painting. You put so much effort into it, you deserve to be happy with it. There we go. So, It's okay to be excited. Tell you what, speaking of being excited, let's just, well, we got the softer brush. I did this back here with a stiff brush. Now, with a soft brush, I'm just going to try to layer on a little bit more, very delicate, a little more highlight, just getting ready to establish even more lighting in here. So pretty. So now I'm going to mix up kind of a dark lavender purple color, something that's not so crazy. And let's see here, it's going to be mostly silhouette, but not fully. So let's get a little white into that. Oh, there we go. That's probably a very good color to start with, I'd say. Let's just wipe that brush out. Of course, I'm using my detail round, as you can clearly see. I'm going to be painting a bird, so wish me luck. I don't do this too much, but that's okay. Right up in here somewhere, kind of stand back, decide. Could be a little closer there. Could be let's go a little further here, because I think it'll help to kind of tie the whole thing together. All right, so the shape of the bird is we're gonna do our best. How's that? That's the shape of the bird. The size of the bird is going to be somewhat like this. Then right here, I've got a little head. Something like, now I'm putting my finger on the wet oil paint. Oh, see, getting a little messy there. That's okay. We'll take a brush and just blend that in later. The more important thing here is we don't mess up the bird. That's beautiful. Okay. Down, holding my breath, and up, and then the tail feather. Good. Okay, we need to draw the back. That's the back of the wing there. Draw that in, back of the bird, and then I've got another wing that comes out like that. All right, and of course I will be refining this shape. That is the basic shape for now. Because it is wet, I can take my brush and I should be able to just, pick up a little of this cloud color, come back in and tweak this bird. See, like the tail I didn't really care for, I go back in and I can erase it just like this, and I can repaint it. So that's one good thing about doing it here. With colors that are sort of similar, you do have that option to tweak the outline if you need to, which I need to. There. Okay, good. So it gives you an idea how a bird is painted. Mostly just trial and error. There. So I just finished up that bird. You see, put a little highlight. Just wanted to show you the silver lining, and I got that just by taking the detail brush, touching it in, and having a nice point on the brush. I'm not going to touch it because I don't want to mess it up. That's how I got that. Anyway, let's go ahead and work on the grass to kind of finalize the foreground, which looks a little blank. Oh boy. You ever have those spots in your paintings where you need to go work on it, you just never get around to it, and then you come toward the end of the painting, like never got around to it? That's what we did right here. So, hey, at least we're getting around to it now. Oh yes, if you don't have fun, you go crazy. That's all there is to it. This is a very enjoyable painting. This is a very interesting, I think, subject. I think it has a lot of impact. A very impactful subject. So I've really enjoyed working on it. It's a good one. There. Let's get some more. This little yellow. I don't know. At this point, the colors are all just mixing together. So we'll just touch into our palette and hope something good comes out. How about that? Because that, after all, you heard me say it before, you're better off just closing your eyes and throwing it in and hoping it turns out than planning it all out perfectly. Because when you plan it all out, it just never comes out the way you want it. But when you're free and you're loose with it, good things can happen. There. All right. Well, you've seen me paint grass before, but it's the same idea. Gotta paint the grass in right here, just brighter, and then it goes softer toward the edges. You can have a little green. There is a little blue. We do need a little green in here, but not much. This is, well, clearly autumn, so these colors work well. I think that's very beautiful, actually. I think it's impactful. It's good. Good stuff. That's what it is. It's good stuff. It is. It is. There. Beautiful. Okay, well, you know, we'll keep going on this, but it's all about the same. So really one of the final steps here is to grab the liner brush, which I've already grabbed, and can you tell we are almost done? And I'm going to place in some beautiful blades of grass. Now, in the beginning, I believe I talked about the sun rays. If I didn't, well, it needs to have sun rays. And because this is a painting that somebody's actually going to go get and not something that I'm going to keep or try to sell on the website, it needs to be done right the first time, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to wait for I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to wait for the painting to dry and put the sun rays in once it's dry. Quick change of plan. You think you're done, you stand back and you look at it, pretty much from where you're looking at it, and you realize that it needs to be changed or adjusted, and that's exactly what happened. See, when I went back there, I just thought, I liked the edges. I did not like the foreground. It was too bland, just too bland. Thought about adding rocks, and I thought, no, you know what's better? You know what's going to work better is having a little road, a little path, walkway that will lead you back into this painting. It'll draw your eye way back into the distance. That's beautiful. I love that. That is exactly what we're going for. Love it. So it is okay to be excited about it. A little more work, but not much. This is well worth it. Well worth it. Nice. Just underpainting with a kind of a soft path color, kind of it's got a little purple in it actually, kind of to promote the effect of some shadows. There. And we'll do my favorite technique for, applying the little stones. We'll do the flicking with the fan brush. Love doing that. It always comes out good. May paint the back wall, but it does come out good. It's worth it as long as you're not painting in the living room. And maybe it's not worth it. So now I'm going to highlight, kind of using a path color, a dirt color, but one that has the feeling of those gold tones up in there, and basically just like every other color in this painting. It's beautiful because of it. But anyway, there you go. It's pretty. I think we can work with that. Just sprinkle in some of those tones like that and give it a good highlight. And then what we'll do, probably too big of a brush to be getting back in there with this, but what we can do, well, that's pretty, is add in a little more shadow on the left side in the form of some lighter purples, maybe some blues. Ooh, that's good though. Good stuff. Bumpy little road, Got a little character to it. It's not smooth or perfect in any way. That works. Okay. That works. Okay. Right here, a little purple. Mix up that purple tone. There it is. Ooh, kind of purple to the blue side. We haven't done much of that. This is going to counteract all the warmth. See that? Warm and cool, balancing each other out. It's so pretty. Yeah. Ooh, what a difference that makes. Good stuff. Don't overestimate these final touches. Sometimes the very last thing that you do creates the most impact. Oh, by the way, remember we have liner brush grass on here? I did take the palette knife and scrape this paint off. Otherwise, this would have been wet and dripping and probably making mud. Of course, you could wipe it off with a shop towel if you need to. I just didn't really need to. The scraping with the palette knife seemed to work pretty good. Well, there you go. That's how you make changes, because everybody needs to make a change on their painting. No matter how many times you do it, you're always going to want to make changes from time to time. Now I'm going to add some gravel or just highlights here to the path. There, see that? It's pretty. That adds a nice touch, a nice sparkle that I think really works. Of course, as you go back, you want them to be smaller and smaller, and then you quickly fade away. We don't want this effect overdone. Yeah. Although it is hard to overdo this effect in the foreground areas. It's easy to overdo this effect in the background because you wouldn't see that much detail. It's lighter, just touch it lighter like this, you get smaller little dots. But that's pretty. It works. Totally works. There. A little more. Okay, and then what you can, now, I don't even know if I mentioned, I got a little bit of oil here in this color so that it, so that it flies off the brush. This is thin like the liner brush. If you don't get it thin, I'm testing it down here on my paper towel. If you don't get it thin, it doesn't work. There we go. Now get some shadow ones in there and just create beautiful detail. It's my favorite technique when it comes to painting roads recently, and beaches and all sorts of stuff like that. I didn't always do this technique. This is a little newer for me, and I have been really enjoying it. So I've been doing it more and more, as you know, recently. I'm trying to be careful not to get it up into the water. The water's finished. I don't want to go back and mess with it. But there you go. Well, that's about it for this painting today. When it dries, I'll add a few final touches for my client, but overall, I'm very pleased with how far we got. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.